of it through a family member. So why aren't we allowed to express our feelings about how we grew up and how it affected us and the psyche that gave, it wasn't fair that we couldn't speak about it. And this is what I really wanted the show to kind of bring out, is like, how does this life affect the women behind it? Who are the women behind it?
Bunch of lunatics.
Yeah, clearly. So I think, to your question, once it aired, maybe by season 2, everyone started to say, all right, it's not that bad. They're not telling anyone secrets. It's only what's happening or happened in the news. All right. And then everything kind of like settled down.
They were watching it in jail. Listen.
That's what you said.
Listen.
I mean, people were calling and being like, hey, do you think you could don't tell no one, but you think you could put my wife on the show? Or don't tell no one, my daughter would really like to go on. And I'm like, no, thanks. I know who you are and who you're related to, and I'm not going down that road. So I was very selective on who I could put on. And
it was very established already, like right from the beginning. But then I think, later on when you got Victoria Gotti, that was a big thing to like, not really people that watch the show because they love the show, but I think like you would say to like middle America or people that were.
But Victoria had a show about the mob, didn't she?
Well, it was Growing Up Gotti.
Okay, so the last name is Gotti. So would that be? Love Victoria. It's got nothing to do with it. But where's the difference?
I don't think that was the question. He's saying when we got Victoria Gotti, it was more of a good get, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Oh, she
What'd
already
you think
had
I
it.
was
So
saying?
my bad. She already had a show. So to me, Victoria's really kind of paved the way for us.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she kicked off a great game. Thank you, Vic.
Yeah. Thank you, Victoria.
Yes.
How did you just, I mean, this was your life, right? But how did you decide to do this show, right? Because like people obviously like didn't want you to do it, like the mob and all these people. Like, I mean, where did the idea kind of come from? I mean, it was your life, but to say, let's put it on reality TV, I guess. Yeah, Victoria did it, but it was
It was different. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
like the kids.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
It wasn't
so
overtly rooted in like the mob. It was really about her family and her life, and you knew who she was, but she didn't put it on Front Street.
I mean, there was
Okay,
no
I'm sorry.
smackdowns with Drita and Karen.
exactly.
And,
because it was her and her children.
yeah.
Right.
So
it was a family show.
It was a
for the most
family
part.
show. So
Yeah.
Right. So I'll
we
tell
were
you.
multiple families.
For some odd reason, I knew in the back of my head I was always going to be in television as a kid, even though I
Interesting.
started pre-med in NYU. I went all the way around to get where I am. But I always knew, and I was always writing, and then I was writing a scripted series, sort of a father-daughter kind of love-hate dance in the series, and it was very close to my personal life. But then I was watching the Housewives blow up, and I'm like, this is my faster way into television, because by the time I write this and find someone to make it and sell it, I know I can get that done, and I know that I have the women right underneath my foot. So I went to, who was it first? I think I went to Carla first, actually, and then Drita, and then Karen and Renee. I made her suffer.
I was
for a little
first,
while.
actually.
I went to you last on purpose to make her suffer.
Right, so I was first.
And I put together a sizzle reel, and then it was like on from there. And the funny part is, when we first sent it to the Weinstein Company, who was my partner eventually, they passed on it. And my old partner was there doing film finance and acquisitions, and he was like, you have to come and meet me. I'm in Nobu with David Glasser, who was the COO at the time, and he's like, I want to introduce you for all your other projects that you're doing. I said, I can't, I'm with the girls. He's like, oh, just bring them. I'm like, are you sure? It was Nobu. They were wild. I'm like, so he's like, just bring them. So I kid you not, within 5 minutes of sitting down, David was like, this is a show. We got to do this show. This is
me
crazy.
and Karen, I believe.
It was you, Karen, and Drita. It was the three of you.
Really?
Yes, Carla wasn't there. And I go, he goes, this is a show. I said, yeah, but you passed on it. He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, yes, you did. It turns out that his California office passed on it. And he was like, no, this is coming to Harvey. He's texting Harvey at the thing. And the next day I had a deal for scripted and unscripted. And the show I was writing was part of that deal, and Mob Wives, and it went up.
Yeah, because VH1 was petrified of us when we did like the initial conversation. We walked out of the boardroom, and I went first with my story, and then Drita Karen were mad at me because you couldn't really top it because it was really wild and crazy. And it just snowballed and they said no to us. And then
No, they didn't say no. They wanted us to do a next step, a next development step. They wanted a presentation tape. And then when we came back with Harvey, they were like, "Oh, straight to series." So
Were you just from going to Nobu? That's crazy. Like, so when you were sitting there, like, did you believe it? Were you like, "Oh my God, thank God," because everyone in television promises you a show, and we're all going to be.
Well, I believed it because one, my partner at the time, Marvin, never told a lie in his life to me, but also the excitement that was coming out of David and Ben Famiglietti, I think his name was, who was at the Weinstein Company at the time. Like they were like in awe and in such shock, and they like literally had Harvey on the phone, and we had the meeting the next day. So I'm like, how could that be fake unless Harvey cancels on us? You know what I mean? But I knew it. I knew I had gold. I knew I had gold. I knew I was going to be in TV. I knew that Renee and Drita were going to go as far as they went, and I just knew. I just knew.
Great cast. Great cast.
Did you always know you were going to be a part of it, Renee? Did you always know you were going to use Renee or give her a job or what? I mean, you made her wait till last. I get it.
I was just, I didn't need to be a star. I was born one. For me personally, I knew I'd be somebody in life
No,
in
part
general.
of mob was.
I know, but I was a mob wife, period.
Yeah.
Whether it was TV or not, I was always going to be.
She was
really
like, "Can I
loyal.
please get a job? I'll do the wardrobe, anything."
She knew she was bringing me along.
And
There is
star
no
on the
show. There could be no show. I'm sorry. I
knew,
hate to
but
say it.
she and she's a whirlwind. She's a whirlwind. So I had to wait until I knew things were really getting there and temper the whirlwind as much as I could take it. So if I left her into the very end, I'd only get a little bit of the whirlwind as opposed to the very beginning. It would be a whirlwind all the way through.
Wouldn't have been. I'm sorry, but it wouldn't have been a show without me.
No, I can't disagree on that. I'm just thinking
can't
of my
disagree on
personal.
I'm a lot.
To
I'm
me,
I'm a lot
me.
to everyone,
But to
and
me,
that's
especially.
okay. That's okay. I'm allowed to be a lot.
Well, I think you and Karen gave it true validity. I mean, everyone had their own, but you guys were, I mean, truly.
Yeah.
Because we were living
connected. Yeah.
that life really. Like her father and my father are who they are.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were definitely the what's the word?
Meat and potatoes.
The stars.
The meat and potato. They were the meat. and
Mommy would say
potato.
First
that.
and second on the call sheet.
Yeah, no, I think like you said, they gave it validity, but they were also it's the most entrenched in the world that aside from the names that they brought, right? They brought the mindset and the inner workings that that are instilled in you since birth and this lifestyle. You know what I mean? Where and the loyalty in a way, right? And when I was casting it, I was picking everyone for different reasons, right? Drita, sorry, hands down.